Hello everyone and welcome back again. It is yet another absolutely beautiful day here in North Wales. Just a quick video today. I'd like to show you a few bits that I've managed to get done over the last day or two. I was hoping to have got it all recorded, but I didn't get around to it. I figured it was just best to get these jobs done rather than hang about and wait just to try and record them, and I can just go around and show you afterwards. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to have a look at everything what I've done over the last few days and a quick look around everywhere. So we'll start off in the polytunnel. I managed to bring all my peppers out. Well, this is some of them in here, there's some in the other polytunnel, but they've all been repotted into larger pots and they're all out here now, as are all the tomatoes. They're all out here and looking really good. So I've got one batch in here and one batch in the other polytunnel. You'd have seen I've repotted all the onions, removed the temporary polytunnel that was here and planted some more onions in there. They're looking much better now that all that's down. I've planted one small fabric pot of the Calvin and Winder and the rest have gone outside. This small pot I'm going to keep these just for saving for seed. So there's a whole tray gone in there, and then there's another 2 trays been planted out, which we'll have a look at in a minute. The ambassador peas didn't have great germination on them, so where I was planning on planting these, I've planted some other ones. We'll have a look at them in a minute. They're around the back. I've had germination on a lot of these carrots, except for these 2 here. Might have to re-sow these 2. But otherwise we've had germination on all the others. Repotted some of the cauliflower and the Brussels sprouts. And didn't notice how many strawberries were coming on these. But them up there are absolutely loaded as well, so it won't be long before we're harvesting those. I've managed to plant out 2 Swede and a kohlrabi in here, and I've also planted a couple of the Bedfordshire champion onions in front of them. But these are 2 Swedes for the giant Swedes for Malvern. These are off the world record strain, and same with the kohlrabi for Malvern. Then in these 2 half barrels here, I've managed to plant both the heavy parsnips, and I've just put a couple of the red baron onions around them. I've got potatoes planted up in all of these, but I have spoken about them. Managed to plant carrots in these 4 tubs, and I've got them covered, just waiting for germination. Once I see signs of germination, I'll remove the covers off them. I've planted some pansies and the amaryllis in the hanging baskets. Got a couple more to do and a few more in the polytunnel to do, but we'll do them with the petunias and the lobelias. In this planter here, I've filled this and I've planted 2 trays of the Calvin and Winder peas in there. I just need to sort these out, tie the tops of these and get some sort of trellis up and down over that. I've also planted the sweet peas. They've just been planted in this trough in bunches. I've still got another 2 trays to put in here. I might just fill in between all of these again. But I've also planted some passion flowers. Hopefully they should climb up this trellis and just cover here just to hide all the crap behind it. I've managed to completely plant up the carrot and parsnip bed. We've got sweet candle carrots all up here, Medwins of Anglesey carrots here, some long black beetroot, and then parsnips the rest of the way. And I've surrounded them with onions, the Bedfordshire champion onions and the elephant garlic. I think next one I'm going to do is get this bed here ready and get these broccolis planted out in here and work out where I'm going to put this giant cabbage. I've also planted 3 spare elephant garlic in this tray, and I need to check the rhubarb that we've been forcing. As you can see, get some nice thick stems on them, so there'll be a nice early harvest in a couple of weeks time, 2 weeks time. Keep them covered up. Just keep them covered up and just keep checking on them. Down the side of the polytunnel, I've planted up 3 of these. They're 120 litre, but there's six areas in each pot, so they're roughly 20 litres a piece. But all these are full of potatoes, and I've just put a border of onions around the edge, just to see how they do. There's 2 different varieties in here. There's Nicola and Sally. We've got another one to fill up here and some more potatoes to go in that. Hopefully get that done over the weekend. Another spot I want to have a look at this year, or this next week, is round these fruit trees. This pear tree, absolutely covered with flowers. Then we've got an apple, a pear and an apple, but I'd like to tidy this area up, get a load of flowers planted in here. I've got loads of calendulas to go in and a few other bits, but hopefully we end up with some pears this year, maybe a couple of apples. I think that's about it in the front garden and the front polytunnel. I've done quite a few bits around the back as well. We'll pop and have a look at them in a minute now. Just like to say, if you haven't already, guys, please do consider subscribing. Big red button down there. Costs absolutely nothing, but helps out the channel a great deal. That's one thing we can't grow around here. So out the back, I've also managed to get a couple of little things done, so quite happy about that. We'll have a quick look at them now, and we'll end this video there. So the raised bed attached to the polytunnel, I've taken all the garlic off, and this is probably some of the best looking garlic that I've got. It seems to be doing really well in these pots, but it's definitely the thicker stems and the healthier looking out of the lot. Ones up there in those, they're not doing as well, but they got battered by the wind over the winter. These ones were kept in the polytunnel over winter. As you know, I cleared this bed a couple of weeks ago. Got strawberries popping up everywhere. But this area, this is where I was going to put the ambassador peas, but I ended up putting the rondo peas in here. So got a nice row of them. I'm going to get a trellis from here down. Just going to hang some trellis netting down. I've put a row of fasto onions and Lolo Rosso lettuce in the front there, and a couple of the big onions that I had left over. They've just gone at the end there as well. So still got this area to play with. I've got all these strawberry runners that I took last year. They all need to be planted somewhere. Thinking about building another raised planter in the front somewhere for that. And in this polytunnel, it's like a bloody bomb's gone off, but There's some cabbage, that's all ready to go out. Desperately need water, need potting on. Got potatoes, they're ready to be planted. Got the lily, not sure where to plant this, whether to just put it in a larger pot or plant it in the ground, not 100% sure yet. And then it's just all seedlings and more tomatoes. So we've managed to bring all these tomatoes out. Desperate need for a drink again. And all the peppers, they've all been potted on and brought out. And then the tomatoes for Mark's grow along, they've all been potted on and brought out here as well. Got trays of seedlings here ready to go out, slowly getting through them. And plenty of sunflowers to go out. A load of calendula that needs planted out. This is what I'm planning on putting up the drive. The calendula and some of the sunflowers, and maybe a load of the petunias, not sure yet. But we've got some more strawberry runners in here, all flowering. They need planting somewhere. And then the rest of the tomatoes are there. I've repotted the spare giant cabbages and giant swede, just in case. And I've been planting out some of the onions. All these pots in the back, they're all filled up, ready to go. I've got these, they're 4 lettuces, but they're like a little halo that you sort of stick in the ground, and it's to stop slugs climbing up. But I'm thinking, instead of cutting the bottoms out the pots, I can just place these in these planters like that. Get 2 of them in each one, and I can plant my cucumbers and my tomatoes in them and water from the bottom here. That way I'm not, especially the cucumbers, I'm not getting the stem wet or anything like that, so it's less chance of stem rot. And I'm thinking I've got enough to do 2 in each of these 6 pots right at the back all the way along, so that should be ideal for them. And then I can use these pots in the front and just have them every so often in the front here. I don't want to overcrowd it too much. Got the rest of the carrots that need thinning out. I'm going to do these 2 this afternoon and get some more seeds planted in this middle one. That beetroot there looks like it's bolting, so that'll be coming out. All the sweet peas gone from up there and up there, they've all been planted out. And another thing that I have noticed, finally, in the grow tents, I've finally got germination on the giant pumpkins, but only after I'd started some more bloody seeds. So we've got plenty of seedlings in here. These swede and broccoli, they need pricking out and potting on. I'm going to do them tonight. As with the lettuce, I'm going to do a load of them tonight. That beetroot can go out. Carrots, they're plodding along nicely now, starting to show good signs. So I'll be taking them out, and then it'll just be melons, the pumpkins, the melons and the cucumbers left in here after that. Single seed potatoes starting to grow there as well, so that's good. And in the 2x4, there's not that much in here now, just cucumbers, more cucumbers. We've had a giant bush gourd come through, but nothing on any of the others. It looks like we might have a giant squash coming up there, and a giant marrow coming up there. The Paris silver skin onions And the basil, sage and chives, they're all coming up. And we've got some more melons there. But these cucumbers, they're looking a lot better now. Looking a lot healthier. Roots hanging out the bottom, they need potting on. Job for this weekend. So as you can see, there's quite a lot going on, and it is getting to that time now where I'm not going to need both those grow lights on. I might just keep it down to one. Got plenty to be getting on with. Going to be planting out a lot of stuff. I'm going to try and film as much as I can, but like I say, I'm doing this all on time. Whenever I get 5 minutes, I'm just doing things as and when I need doing, instead of hanging about and waiting just so I can film it. That's what I did last year, and I ended up falling behind on a lot of things just because I wanted to film them and didn't have time to. So I do apologise for not filming everything, but it is what it is, and I will try and do my best to get as much footage out as I can. It's that time of year now, everyone's really busy. I don't expect everyone to watch and comment on all my videos. A lot of videos I am watching, I've just not been able to comment on them, because if I'm watching them on the TV, a lot of you will know you can't comment when you're watching on the TV. But I do try and pop back on my phone and drop a little comment as well. But don't feel the need that you have to watch all my videos. So thanks for watching, and catch you on the next one. Bye for now.